Hello everyone, welcome back. So this is the part where I decide to just go ahead and eat it and tell the restaurant I don't know what happened. Obviously kidding. So moving on, obviously I like to try to create more of a scene. So I'm shooting the hummus. We already shot the tuna tartare, but I just really want to just put it in the background like, you know, you're at a scene with your friends, right? Because everyone orders something. Keeping a glass of wine here, politely went over and asked the bartender if he could make me something refreshing. And I told him exactly what I was shooting and asked him his recommendation of what would look good with this. I think he killed it spot on. The colors complement each other. We got the nice green. It's looking very bright, you know, gardeny over here. I got a different setup here just so that when people are looking at this, they don't think it's a very repetitive scene. And this is the next dish they made us, a pasta. I'm just gonna keep it here in the background, but my main focus is here. I got creative, put the Reflector back here, just use the table to pin it, and a little further away, so it's gonna be harder to reflect off, but it's what I gotta work with. I have the light right here, trying to light up the whole entire scene. Now, as you do this, you play around with it. Hummus, it's a little hard to shoot at the side to get all the bread. I think I'm gonna shoot it overhead, but I'm gonna try to do an overhead shot and incorporating all this and maybe get the pasta, maybe not. My main shot and focus is this, just to kind of create that scene like you're there with somebody. So let's get going. First off, I didn't bring my tweezers, but sometimes I just make sure this is where I want it. I don't like things sticking up really, but this, you know, whatever it is he put on here, dill or some sort, is not that bad. But when you have pasta and the pasta noodles are sticking up, you have to fix that. It just looks better. I really want to see that carrot, so I'm just going to hide that.
How did you learn how the food should look?
Good question. So there are a lot of food styling books, and they teach you the ways of what composition and everything looks, lighting, where certain forks can go. I found out the hard way when I shot a Chinese restaurant that I crossed the chopsticks and I posted it. People said it was beautiful, but then one person let me know privately that in certain cultures when they crossed it, it meant something bad. It was either like death or something that was negative. I was like, great. I X-nayed all those photos and now I never cross chopsticks again. So you gotta learn that, but this is not necessarily, you know, a certain cuisine. I'm bad about reading books. The best way I learned was when I got a good gig, I hired a food stylist. And I hired a food stylist a few times. If you do a short shooter, just have them come for a couple hours, like I just want 3 shots. They bring a whole kit with them, everything you need, and then they kind of, and I ask them questions, and I just watch what they do. Also the books, I'll get to you, I think it's called Food Styling and Tips, you can find on Amazon. I'll make sure I share that with you guys. Anyway, let's get going with this. Seriously, someone, you know, DM me and they're like, hey, I see all these crossed, and it's like a chef of like a place, and they're like, we don't like that, and it means this, and I was like, shh. So I'm gonna try the 100, but this is definitely an instance, and I haven't taken it off. As you see, this is my baby, I love it, but this is definitely an instance where even tall as me, I should probably do the 50, but just for fun, I'm gonna go ahead and try the 100. But we're gonna switch it probably, because I'm gonna have to get up there. Look how high up I am. Look at that. No flash. There it goes. What'd you think of that first shot? Man, I got reach. I should have kept playing basketball, I tell you. I like it. What do you think? Some of the something that's so fun about food photography, I can't tell you how many times I take one test shot and I'm like, okay, that looks good. I will take 20 more, and then when I go to post-production, it will be the one the client picks. I don't know why, it's just weird. I'll be like, oh, it's not bad. And it'll be the one they pick or the one we go with, and I'm like, how did that happen? I should just stop right there and move on to the next, because I'm gonna spend another 10 minutes getting more shots that they're probably gonna pick this one. But we're having fun, aren't we? Let's get more of this hummus. So the hummus is pretty highlighted, but I like it. But just in case, I'm gonna turn it down just a touch. The flash, that is. I'm leaving my camera settings exactly where they're at. Boom. Now it's not as harsh. Whoops, wrong one. There we go. Look at that. We got a little bit of shadows. The colors still pop out. The napkin on the side, I'm unsure of. It's kind of weird, so I'm gonna take that out. I love the way the cocktail looks with the red and the green. It pops too. And then of course you see a little bit of the flowers. So let's move the napkin out, right? Let's just take the napkin out. Let's put the silverware over here. And again, due to time constrictions, I would maybe add another plate somewhere with like a piece of pita bread on it to make it look like it's a real lifestyle scene, like people are eating. But you know, again, when you have your time, you do it, you can get creative with that way. Take one off, already put hummus on it, make it look like it's been done. But get your shots first and then play with your food, always. I call it dessert. You can't have dessert until you have your main course, okay? There we go. So again, this is preference. I could have left the napkin in. I could have done something different with the napkin. Certain people like different twist sizes with the napkin. To me, in a fine dining restaurant, I keep it more clean and just let it be. I put in a napkin there, kind of symbolizes somebody kind of threw their napkin down, they left, or they're in the bathroom or something like that. Let's just make sure it shows it very nice and clean like you're sitting there. I got more of the flour in it. Fun. Let me put the 50 on and show you the difference. All right, and I'm back. What is it doing? So here's the 50. Now, anyone out there that knows gear pretty well, you might see this is like an older Canon 50. It's not their L series with the red ring on it. And that one is 4 times as much as this one. I think I bought this used for $200 and maybe $25 in excellent condition. I've tried the extra 50 before with the L lens, and it, I have no idea why I was looking at my light talking. You know, I was just doing that. Anyway, this does just as good. I mean, for food. If you really want to spend an extra $1,000 on the Prime, you can. There is a macro one, which I think we will try out on the shoot, which is good. But I like this one. And I always put my lens cover on when I'm doing a flash, just to eliminate any kind of flare possibility from the flash. So now look, earlier I was way up here. And now look if I do it. I almost got too much room. Look, you can see my feet, not good. So if you're shorter, or if you just want to have more of that space, you can easily just come down right here and not have the strap in it. I'm not a strap person. So now I can almost get this in it too. Let's put this by the wine. How about that? Let's try that. But the light's it's gonna block the light. No. So see, I just was gonna do that, but I realized the light's coming in. That would block that. Shows a lot more. A little more focus on this. There we go. Now I'm going to move my feet because now I'm just going to focus on this. You can still see other plates, which is fun because you just know there's more stuff there. Keeps the curiosity. Look, what is there? Like the hummus looks good, but what is that other stuff in the corner? I don't know. We must go. We must try. And so now look, you're even able not to stand on if you'd like to keep your shoes on and easily get the shot. There we go. Looks very clean. You're seeing the blue from the seat. All right. I think that's plenty there. Looks nice. I could raise the flash up just a tad to get rid of some of those shadows. And again, you could bring a reflector closer or a bounce card. Again, you can get a bounce card, a white cardboard from an art store for like 10 bucks. Place it right here on the side. I'm gonna switch sides. So see, here's a fun thing I like to do, normally with my 100 though. I like to do a shoot through. That thing's sticking way up there. Let's just shoot it and see how we feel about it. That's fun. Let's get you down. Oh boy. Very nice. So for fun, I just decided to do that, showing the whole bit of the hummus, trying to get most of the light on there. You see the bread in the background. You see the iconic blue of Mission and Market. In the foreground, you got a little bit of the drink. You see a little bit of the flowers. Kind of just gives you a nice little, so let's back it up a little bit and go back to vertical. Here, I'm gonna do a little more over. You know what? The drink might look good on this side actually. If you see me moving, it's because I can see the ground on my tripod because I'm using the 50. This is where the 100 comes in because I'm a very tight shot. So I don't want to see that. I just want to see strictly this. Still getting it. Here, I'll just do it for this way. Beautiful. Look at that. So once again, what did I say earlier? I'm here. My subject's almost in front of me. Where's my light? Where's my light? You know where it's at. Right to the left of me. Simple all day. If you don't want to move stuff around, you can do this all day long with you here, light there, subject there, and just kind of move around a little bit. You're going to get shots you want, and it's a great way to practice. You know where my light's at. I didn't even have to ask you that. You guys are paying attention, right? I know my missus wouldn't be paying attention. She'd already be scrolling on TikTok. Here now, see, I'm doing something fun. I'm putting the light right behind me. And it's like what that might look like. Sometimes it looks flat, but let's just try it. Hey, not bad. The drink's kind of obstructing. See, again, if you notice what I'm doing right now, I'm almost pretending like you guys aren't here, and I'm just playing. And you just take a good close look at it and decide if you like something. So for me, I noticed a blank spot over here in this bottom right corner. And I was just like, oh, maybe I'll move the drink there. And now I'm going to kind of move the plate a little closer. And I'm also going to get this flower here. Hey guys, and that's it for today. I hope you really enjoyed what we did. Remember, we used one light, one softbox, about 47 inches, 49. Again, doesn't have to be that big. Using one light, a reflector, 100mm lens, macro, and a 50. Overhead shots, different angles, and I think we got some great shots to start off with. And it just goes to show you that if you're getting into food photography, all you need is one light, really. You don't even need a reflector. One light, one small softbox. You can get started for so cheap, a 50mm lens, and just start having fun. That is the most important part. Play with angles, play with shadows, contrast, get different shots of it, and enjoy it. Because then again, all we're doing is taking photos of food, right? It's not that serious. So, hope you had fun, hope you learned something. I'll see you guys again soon at my next restaurant. We're gonna get more into hard light and bring in that second light. Cheers.